Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome to a teammate mirror. It's a matchup we've seen a lot in the past month and a half. And here we are once again. It is Dark, the bottom left here of a Royal Blood, versus in the top right, herO. But of course in DKZ, Dragon Kaizi Gaming, the merger between Dragon Phoenix Gaming and Kaizi Gaming. As we have reached the beautiful map of Royal Blood here. It is a game from the Korean Starcraft League #1. Absolutely fantastic tournament. So happy with it. Seeing so many cool Korean replays because of it. It's so funny how it worked. I feel like back in the day, like 2 years ago, back in the day, you know, truly 2021. God, that's so long ago. I can barely remember it. Now, back then, it feels like we never really had any Korean replays. And honestly, in my entire StarCraft career, Korean replays kind of were a currency on its own, you know? Like, you'd get like a high-level Korean replay, you'd be real happy with it. Because often replays weren't released where Koreans played. GSL never released them. Then I guess the ESL tournaments, like the IEMs, would release them. That was nice. You always got some there. From like your European Premier League, if like MC was playing, you could get those replays. But you'd always got them so late, right? Like 3 months after they were played, they'd already be playing new builds. You couldn't copy it anymore. But nowadays, like all these tournaments are just releasing replays. I freaking loved it when Alpha X was doing all these show matches and you'd get the replays like 5 minutes after the games were played. Like, oh, that's so sick. Like studying replays. Like, all these builds are terrible. But I love it. You copy them and you lose every game with it. It always kind of throws me back to when I was a young man. You know, in my late teens. I was trying to become as good as the Koreans. I remember in Fnatic, when I initially joined Fnatic, there was a player called Oz in my team. He was a really good Protoss player. Like, not really good. He was way better than I was. I sucked a little bit. And he was, I think it was like rank 10 or so on Korean Grandmaster. So I was pretty impressed with him. But the thing you gotta know about, I think especially back then, is that the mindset between a lot of the Koreans and foreigners was fairly different. So I think foreigners have always been caring more about like playing correct in a way and playing more macro focused. While Koreans they were way more focused on just winning and killing people. You know? So I would ask Oz for replays. He was like, hey, could you send me a replay of like just a macro build in every single matchup? And I remember getting a Protoss versus Terran replay from him in which he took an insanely fast third base, like a 1-gate third base, which was super uncommon, especially in Wings of Liberty. And then he'd follow it up with an 8-gate all-in of like 46 probes with 2 gas. And he's like, this is my favorite macro build. I'm like, it's not macro, it's just it's a 2-base all-in with a fake third. Like, what is this? It's the same in every matchup. I think he sent me an Immortal all-in PvZ. I was like, this is not macro. I think, yeah, it's just so different. And I think some of these stylistic things are still there, right? Like I think there's a lot of foreigners that have become more aggressive, and a lot of Koreans that kind of have become more macro focused. But I think if you think, especially when it comes to like the Zerg players, I do believe that the foreign players tend to prefer a much safer style and more focused on really kind of flexing these high level mechanics, while Koreans just are so aggressive. You know, they also have very good mechanics, obviously, but more like the micro or the decision making rather than just the straight like creep spread and that type of stuff. Like you'll have someone like Elaser who just plays against like the easy AI for 4 hours to get the best creep spread possible. Like that type of like macro mechanic grinding. I feel like most Koreans would have played like 12 games by then. You know, just all-inning some people 12 games, or like 16 or 20 games. And many ladies just practicing his mechanics against the AI. Oh, how things have changed. Lair being thrown down here at the 5-minute mark. Relatively late for Dark. Dark is someone that doesn't mind starting the lair a bit faster every now and again. There's a fort base on the way as well as the creep spread. There's a long path here over the far left side on Royal Blood. This is some classic single tumor spreading. Look at this. There's one tumor in the middle. It's gonna have one tumor to the right and one tumor to the left. It's gonna be covering half the map with 3 tumors, 3 active tumors, that is. Queen count is at 6, so it should be capable of having more creep tumors, but doesn't really seem to care. Roach Warren as well as an Evo chamber. So most likely going to be some type of roach play. Safe to say, because we see the Roach Warren. Range upgrade as well. Okay, cool. So melee has been a lot more popular, but every now and again we do see those range upgrades still kicking off. Fast fort base for herO with the Blink Stalkers. Exactly like we know him to love and to do. This Oracle is just eyeing that the creature. Like, I'm gonna kill you when you're very close to actually finishing up. So that's a very nice thing to do, but that's how herO rolls over here. Uh-oh. Almost looked like that had some real potential. I'm loving this fort base position, by the way. Do I? I don't know about this fort base position. Let's put it like this. Way more common to see this as a fort. Advantage here, I guess, is a nice 4 gate wall. You can also have that in this area. You still have to deal with this general attack path as well. I feel like you're spreading yourself a little bit thin if you take that 3 o'clock fort base. But I could be wrong about it. I'm not entirely sure. What is this? This is world's latest Nydus. Someone called a Guinness Book of World Records. Because Dark is definitely attempting something here. 7 minutes and 10 seconds and he starts a Nydus worm on the other side. Oh, you can be serious. Hey, this is the type of stuff we've been missing out in replays. This is it. This exact build order. No, this is ridiculous. No. herO is now aware of what's kicking off. He'll look at this and say, well, that's fairly late, isn't it? It's still a big attack, though. Don't get me wrong. Oh, my God. herO opens up the door for a stranger and gets punished for it immediately. Because this stranger is here to pillage. So links in the main base will get cleaned up by the Zealots. Links in the natural will get cleaned up by the Stalkers. This is a build that has some real potential. I think a bunch of workers might end up falling here. However, there doesn't really seem to be enough roaches with it in a way for like the real big damage output. Charge is finishing up soon as well, which is kind of a big deal, I think, right? That does feel kind of like a big deal. DT's being warped in here. What a defense. What a defense. No overs here, and this is going to be the end of the push. This should not have been the end of the push, but it is. DT's completely ruining the life of Dark over here. These links still stuck in a trap. They can't get out. Oh no. Can't believe they got caught in a trap. We now have Overlord speed coming in. Nydus network is once again being filled up by roaches. Now the roaches pop out. They just like the feeling of going in the mouth and out of the mouth. Bloop, bloop. I wonder if there's like a massive tongue that pushes you out, or if it's just like a blow power, like a cannon almost. You get knocked out of there. It's like a portkey from Harry Potter. Poof. Not really, it's a worm. So maybe there's just a massive tunnel underneath. They go in here and it just goes underground. I don't quite understand how it works. The logistics, that is. That is proper confusing. I wonder how the StarCraft devs actually explain this. Probably get some lore nerds asking about this at the BlizzCon. Okay, more roaches popping out. This is 172 supply of roach. Do not forget that. Those are significant numbers here, my friends. Significant numbers indeed. As the Dark Templar are just joining in the fight as well. This is fantastic to watch. More Biles now raining down on top of this Archon army. Big blink forward. Oh my god. The flank with the warp in. Doesn't quite work out though. One more blink forward. Here we go. Ravagers are being taken out as I think herO stabilizes. And while stabilizing, probably it's just pretty far ahead here. 78 workers against 66, plus 3 on the way. 5th base on the way. We have another Oracle coming out as well, bringing that total up to 3. Yeah, he's only been on 2 this entire game. Now it's going to split up these Oracles. We just have more and more roaches coming out of Dark. Dark says, well, it's nice that you think you've stabilized, but I'm going to hold down that roach key a little bit harder. See what you are going to do about that, mate. Do you have any plans? Do you have any plans? Nero says, yeah, gonna survive. That's my plan. So far, he's doing a fabulous job at that. What's the gate count here? Looks like 10, no? 9 gateways, okay. Plus 3 finishing up soon for herO, but before that, plus 2 for Dark will finish. So we'll have a 2-2 fight over here. Zealots, Archons, and Stalkers now chasing this army. These roaches could be trading okay here, honestly. Oracles do need to help out against the Ravagers. There we go. Big blink forward now at the same time. Not necessarily a great trade for herO, but I think it's good enough given the fact that he's on 90 workers against 66. This is the world upside down. herO bringing the Uno reverse card and reversing this game all up on Dark. All over Dark. Fantastic. Oh, actually. Nah. I wonder how Dark is going to try to transition out of this. I've seen Dark come back from positions that are significantly worse than this. Difficult to imagine, but I've seen him do it. 3 drones. There we go. Macro game time. Alright, boys. It's been fun, but it's time for the macro game. I thought I saw a Hydra then earlier, but maybe that got cancelled. 6th base on the way, so it's going to be 6 bases against 4. That is a significant advantage here for for herO. He's taking a gold as well. Okay, here comes the Hydra then. +1 carapace as well. I love that Dark just looks at this situation like, yeah, this wasn't great, but watch me play some Roach Hydra now. He just goes for it. Freaking guy doesn't give a crap. Doesn't care what you think about him. He's building some Roach and Hydras, alright. Does he only have 1 Oracle left? What happened with the other ones? Yeah, 3 now. 4. Yeah, he kept building Oracles. Now we have 11 Hydras on the way. Army supply, funnily enough, in favor of Dark right now. Don't think that really matters, but we just gotta keep that in mind. I mean, if these Hydras come out and they fight with this army, this could be a little bit dangerous even for herO. I do believe that. I really do believe that. We're not memeing here. Drones are being pulled off the line. It's usually not a great sign. If you're down 30 workers and you have to pull drones defensively. In general, just being down 30 workers is genuinely quite a bad sign. I'd not recommend that. If you can, you know, can stop that from happening. That's a lot of zealots here that are being warped in. 14. There's a 14, no, there's 13 gates. So if he warped in 14, then he's hacking. Would be one hell of a discovery to make here on Royal Blood. Catching him accidentally using his fake warp gate, his hacking gate. Oh, blink forwards into this. This is herO saying get out of my game. And this is Dark saying, perhaps I'll stay a little bit longer. If we had a camera in herO's room right now, we'd maybe see like a bead of sweat rolling down his forehead. Like, oh, wait a second. Heavy breathing. It starts some zealots on the right side. Like, uh-oh. He has a big army. Lurker then most likely will be a follow-up, perhaps with an infestation bit. I legitimately have seen Dark come back into games like this. Although this might be a very difficult one. You have shields on the way already as well. Here comes the Robo Bay. I really did like the build of Dark though. I mean, it felt like it had some potential until the 5 DT showed up and there was no Overseer. To be fair, who prepares for 5 DTs at the 8-minute mark? No. Really no one. And you shouldn't either, you know? I think mentally you're losing if you're prepared for DTs at that time. It's such a loser move. Low tier. Very low tier. If I were to make a tier list of moves, that would have like the F tier. Like, if I were to compare it to a fruit, it would be the watermelon, basically. Like one of the worst fruits in the world. So, no! My friends! Suicide. That was suicide right there. Just walking straight into a bile. You are in a lot of trouble there, my friend. It's not okay. Triple disruptors now on the way. And these disruptors, they will make a difference in hero's life. Just like a toothbrush makes a difference, and makes a difference in loads of people's lives. It's one of these items that if you don't have it, you don't have toothpaste, life is really frustrating. It's the same with the disruptor. You always want to have at least one disruptor. It's like you always want to have one toothbrush. We all have this friend that shows up to a holiday and starts brushing his teeth with his finger because he forgot his toothbrush. Says it's a waste to buy a toothbrush because he still has a good one at home. Well, you could buy a new toothbrush and then use that one. Like, you'll need to buy a new toothbrush eventually again in the future. It's not like you're wasting it, because you're using it earlier. Oh well. Right, these disruptors are lots of toothbrushes here for herO. At this point, even a toothbrush might be too big a weapon here for Dark's army. This doesn't look very powerful. GG gets called. Royal Blood has ended and herO has won. Fairly one-sided game here. But that is life. Sometimes the games are one-sided, my friends. Sometimes they are. As herO completely destroys Dark. That's going to be it for me today. And also for you guys. Yeah. That's the end of the game. This is just how StarCraft works. I'll see you all tomorrow for a new video. If you did like this one, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like. And also comment down below. See you all next time.